Hi guys, welcome back to my podcast. Welcome to the Differently Mom podcast. I am so glad, so grateful that you guys are tuning in yet again on here. I'm so excited to do this episode with you today, which truly is a really special one. And I know that I always say every single episode that I do is special, but they truly are all so special and so unique in their own ways. This podcast is a labor of love. I love everything that I do with this, and I love the freedom that I have to speak on literally anything. And that's why everything that I share is really truly coming from me, and more specifically from my heart space. And it's just such a beautiful moment every time that I sit down and I film and I share all of these thoughts that I have with you, because I really truly believe that the people that need to hear these words, the people that need my podcast to help them on their own healing and growing journey, will find it. Not every podcast episode is for everyone the moment it goes out, but they truly have a lot of value, and the right people will find it at the right time. And talking about the heart space and all of that, today's episode is about love, and it's about the heart. And let me bring you a little bit on a journey of how I actually got to this podcast idea. So I don't know about you guys, but I feel like recently the energy is very heavy, very constricting. You know, it's been a while since I've woken up and I felt like, wow, I have just so much energy and I'm just going to conquer this day. I own the world. And, really, those days where you wake up and you're like, wow, I'm so cool and nobody can stop me. These days, I have very little of those days. Recently, I wake up very frequently with a constricting energy that feels like everything is a bit harder. Everything is a little slower. My motivation is really low, I'm not gonna lie. And just everything feels harder. Everything feels more constricted. And I don't know about you guys and if it's just me and the people around me that are feeling that, but I feel like somehow it's a much more global thing that the energy feels a lot more constricting these days. And so I felt like that yesterday. I went to the city and I was shopping and I was like, okay, let me get myself out of this rut. Let me go outside, move my body. Let's find some nice clothes that I like or whatever. And the energy was getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And I was like, what is wrong? I'm trying to do all of the things. I don't understand. Why am I feeling so constricted? And I came home and I was like, you know what? Let's meditate, because clearly something's going on and I don't know what's happening. I don't know why my body feels so constricted. I don't know why for the last few days I wake up and I'm not feeling great. So let's go back to the basics. Let's sit down with ourselves in peace. No guided meditation, no nothing. Just with your own thoughts, a bit of silent, a little bit of tiny little music, and let's go inwards and figure out what's happening. And the thing that came to me so strongly, which was quite triggering, was, Orlane, you need to open up your heart. And oh my life, it was kind of triggering to hear that, because I'm always like, oh, with so much love, as always, with so much love, I feel like I give a lot of love, and is something that I do. But my heart is open in the sense of open to give love, but my heart is not necessarily open to receiving love. And those are two very different things. And to get to where we want to get in life, to get our dreams, to attract our dream partner, or attract our dream job, whatever it is, to have the sort of dream life that we have in our minds of that, this is what I want with my life. It's a two-way street. We need to be able to give, but we also need to be able to receive. And that was kind of this beautiful thing that kept on repeating over and over again while I was meditating, which was like, you need to choose to open up your heart. You need to choose to allow yourself to receive love. And I don't know about you, I don't know if this resonates with any of you, and I'm sure it will, because I feel like a lot of us are really good at giving. We're really good at, giving to our children, giving to our partners, giving to our friends, our parents, and just doing for them and providing for them and giving them of the love. But actually, Are we good at receiving that? Are we okay with sitting down and allowing other people to come to us and give us that? And how will we receive it? Will we receive it with a full open heart and being like, you know what, thank you. I appreciate that so much. Thank you for this. I really appreciate it. Or are we going to not even notice that this is an act of love that we're receiving because our heart is so closed, it can't see it. And I don't know if you know about this, but I'll share it again. But I've been through a really, really tough breakup in June of this year, and I'm over it now. It's completely okay. But obviously, certain things with such, I don't want to say traumatic, but such difficult, life-altering breakups, it leaves certain scars, right? And I'm also a medical student, and if you think about wound healing, there's like an inflammatory phase, an acute phase, a time where it starts to repair, and then over months after that, when the wound has repaired and you can kind of see a scar, over months after that, you think that the wound is healed, but your body is still actually actively working to remodel that scar. So to try to make the scar as similar to normal tissue, because when it's acutely repairing it, it's kind of repairing it quickly as it can and not really well. Just let's get this wound closed ASAP, and that's the main goal. But afterwards, the body takes time, takes months to remodel the tissue and make sure that the tissue is now as close as possible to normal tissue. So it kind of goes back and is like, oh, we really put not really good cells here. Let me change those cells because they're to a better quality type of cell, things like that. And I kind of look at that and use that analogy with your heart as well. Even if your heart has now healed, you're not in the acute phase, everything is going well, your heart still needs to remodel, and you still need to create a safe space to allow your heart to open up and receive love again. And not necessarily love from a partner, romantic love, just anything. And I think that's the thing that came to me so strongly was that, hey, bestie, your heart is so closed up. And it was so weird to receive, because I was like, how dare you tell me my heart is closed? How dare you tell me my heart is closed? My heart isn't closed. But then when I put my ego to the side and I really truly sat with myself and just sat with my heart, literally, I was like, oh, it's so closed because it's so scared. I'm so scared to reopen it up and receive from other people, because at least if I don't receive anything, I can't get hurt. If I don't receive anything from friends, if I don't receive anything from family, if I don't receive anything from potential romantic partners, I can't get hurt. But that's not how life works. And that's not how you get to where you want to be, because everything in life is a two-way street. So if you're able to give, but you're not able to receive, you're not going to get to where you want to get, right? Because again, it's a two-way street. You need to be able to give and receive it and find harmony. And so I was really, really cold and pushed to share this message with you guys and share this sort of concept, and asking you this genuine question and encouraging you to sit in meditation, sit with yourself to figure out, like, hey, is your heart closed? And is your heart closed to giving? Is your heart closed to receiving? Is your heart closed to both? And to really sit with it, because it's very uncomfortable, I'm not going to lie, but you really realize a lot of things, and you realize, okay, now I have this new thing that I can kind of focus on and quote unquote work on and help myself open up this heart a bit more and open it up a bit more to receiving. And it actually was really, really beautiful, because this morning, again, I woke up and I was like, ugh, I don't like this. I'm not feeling great. I did the meditation yesterday, I did all of these things, and I still don't feel good. What is wrong? And I was like, everything in life is a process. It takes time, whatever. And so I was like, you know what? Let me do some yoga. I haven't moved my body in a while, so let me meditate and do some yoga, which is what I did. Went really well. And then I have those like oracle cards that I kind of sometimes just like to pull to see what the vibe is. And I pulled this card that literally basically was like, how open is your heart? And as difficult as life may be, remember that the solution lies within love and lies within your heart being open to receive. And closing up your heart in moments of difficulty is actually not the answer. Constricting your heart and protecting it and shielding it from everything that's possible and everything that could eventually hurt it is not the answer. The answer is, as difficult and as vulnerable as it is, melting those barriers, melting those shields, and letting your heart stand strong. Your heart is so strong. I literally remember I was in meditation this morning and I was like thinking about the heart and what the heart actually does and what the heart actually looks like, because as a medical student, I've had amazing opportunities to see cardiac surgeries and see and know what a heart does and what a heart looks like. And I was just thinking about my own heart and I was like, Orlane, your heart has been beating every single day for you. Rain, shine, sadness, happiness, grief, tiredness, it never stops. It beats every single day. It shows up every single day. And on top of that, it's kind of the organ that holds all of the love that you're able to give, but all of the love that you're also able to receive. And so you can't shield that away. You can't shield that powerhouse of an organ away. You can't protect it from anything because you're like, oh, it's going to get hurt. The heart will still beat. The heart beats every single day until you die. And sometimes a heart can still beat outside of the body. It can still beat outside of the body for a little bit of time because that's how the electricity in it functions. It's such an automatic process that it can still beat outside of your body for a couple minutes or a couple seconds. I don't remember how many. So shielding our hearts, it's kind of the immediate, like with the wounds, the immediate response. Oh my God, we need to repair this. We're shielding it. But the remodeling phase of healing is melting those barriers away, melting them away and allowing ourselves to step back into our power and remember how strong our hearts are, and remember that our hearts will continue beating. And also, the other thing that came was remembering that with everything that we've been through and with everything that we've now learned, we have this ability within ourselves. We have this beautiful ability now to know how to care for our hearts a little bit better and know when to take our heart away from a situation and be like, you know what? This friendship, this partnership is not what I want. So I'm taking my heart away from this and I'm choosing not to give any more love to this and not receiving any more love from this because I don't need to. I'm removing it. So you also need to trust that you have this ability and this power within you to put your heart in situations and take it away when you see fit, because it's not going to bring anything to you. You have now this ability to see how your heart is being treated in different situations and to take your heart away from these situations ASAP. The moment you see it, you need to have trust that you will take your heart away and your heart will not get as hurt as it ever has been in the past. And so with all of that, I'd like to maybe put a little bit of a summary. This podcast was basically here to remind all of us that walking around being and priding ourselves with giving love to a lot of people is not the full solution. We also need to be able to receive from other people. And sometimes that's harder. Sometimes people would expect that giving is harder than taking, but actually receiving is a lot harder because receiving is a vulnerable, you don't control that, right? You don't control when somebody's going to give you love. You can't control if one day it's going to be taken away. So it's easier, quote unquote, to close your heart and be like, well, now my heart's closed, so I'm not receiving anything, because at least if it stops, then I never received it in the first place, so I can't get hurt. But actually, you're hurting yourself a lot more in the long term by preventing yourself from receiving any love at all. And the solution always lies in love. There's this quote that says that the only thing that can heal trauma is love. And opening up our hearts and slowly but surely melting those barriers away is where the solution lies for a lot of us, and is kind of the next step in a lot of our journeys. And I really wanted to share that with you guys. And it's kind of come out just as it had to, and I trust that the message was as clear as possible. But I really wanted to share that with you immediately, because it felt so strong. Like my whole body felt like, even right now I already have chills and everything, but it felt so strong. My whole body was like in full like chills yesterday, and I was like, this is a message that needs to get out there in the world ASAP for people that need it to find it. And I just really think that it's such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful message. And really, sometimes life is our biggest teacher, and ourselves, our bodies are our biggest teachers. And if we give ourselves the time to actually sit down with ourselves, just sit down and listen, we get so many answers. And I could have never imagined that that was the new thing that I discovered about myself, that I now really truly desire to work on. I desire to choose to open up my heart to receive love a lot more, and not succumb to the fear of that, and really choosing love to come to me, and me choosing myself to allow it to come in and to allow to receive it. And I really do think that it's going to be so powerful, so beautiful. And it's a journey. Again, I'm literally sharing this as I'm struggling with it, I literally shared with you how I struggled during the day, and that's what came to me. So sometimes I really do think that, especially like, it's important to share the struggle as well, share where you're coming from and what you're currently dealing with and how you're trying to alchemize all this energy. And I'm just here to share what I see, share what I know, and hopefully it can help you guys on your journey. I'm just kind of like a vessel through which you can learn a few different things that I'm able to see. I really think that this week, or at least until the next podcast, the thing to focus on is our hearts, opening them up. And I really urge you to do it. It's a beautiful process, quite vulnerable. But I do think that on the other side of that lies so much happiness, so much beauty. And so I do think we owe it to ourselves. So yeah, that was kind of a quick episode today. I hope it came out correctly. I hope you guys understood what I was trying to say. And again, I trust that it's going to find the right people. Whew. But yeah, the whole time I was speaking, I had chills all over my arms. So I kind of trust that maybe the message was that the message was powerful, and that it's going to find the right people. But yeah, I really, really appreciate you guys for listening to this podcast and tuning in. And again, if you want to stick around and hear the rest of the things that I have to share, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's where the podcast lives. Or if not, subscribe to wherever you're listening to podcasts. Share this podcast episode with other people that you think that could benefit from it as well. Share the podcast with people. As I say all the time, I'm really trying to create a community of people, like-minded people that want to, that need help or want to heal and grow on their own journeys. And that's what I do here. I help people heal and grow on their own journeys while I heal and grow on my own journey. And so, yeah, share it around, word of mouth, or actual links to podcast episodes. I would be so, so, so grateful for all of that. And if not, you can find me as well on social media. So on Instagram mostly, where I post reels basically almost every day. And I share more thoughts. Another thing, for people that have stuck around till the end of the video, thank you. I appreciate you guys, because y'all are rare. Y'all are very rare that you stick to the end of the video. So thank you so much for doing that. And to thank you, I'm announcing that in December, towards the end of December, I am going to announce something really, really cool. I'm going to launch something new. Take a leap of faith on my own journey and continue this beautiful journey with you guys in another way again. And it's going to be beautiful. I'm going to be teasing it a little bit more during the build up, but it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful process. One where you're going to get to know my heart a lot more. Which I think is really, really, really suited for this conversation that we're having. But yeah, you're going to get to know my heart a lot more. And I think this is why I've delayed launching this for so long, because I am so scared to receive the potential love that could come from this. That this process of opening up my heart is is beautiful in the build up to this, because it's definitely needed. And the world needs my heart, I think. And I'm getting ready to share this part of myself that I've kept hidden, mostly under wraps, for the last 3 years and a bit that I've been doing this YouTube journey with you guys. So really, really, really stay excited for this. You can even see how constricted I got, because it's just a little bit vulnerable for me to share this. But for the people that have stayed till the end, here's your little gift from me. You're gonna have a lot more of my heart will be shared, and I'm really, really excited for it. A little bit scared to my core, but really, really excited. So thank you again for listening to this. I really, really appreciate you, and I will see you guys in a next podcast episode. And please let me know how you get on with this whole thing, what you thought about the podcast episode. I really, really appreciate you guys, and love y'all. Bye.